Okay, welcome back. So we've actually got plenty of public order in Aki and Iwami. I've booted the game up again. I'm a little suspicious of these numbers because I don't remember public order being this great, but it looks like things are at least good enough that I feel confident forcing my way into Mimasaka. So we'll take a decent sized force and we'll push up into their capital. Or, now, I want to go for Mimasaka because this is their recruitment center. I think I might also have enough money to go for the border watchtowers. And in the east, since Aki seems to be firmly under my control, I think it's... I don't know why it's so good, actually. As I said, a little suspicious about these numbers. We'll... Let's see. 2 units of samurai, cavalry archers and samurai archers. I should be able to do fine with this force. And I want to build up that general so I don't even need my daimyo. And I will keep some forces back because, as I said, I'm a little paranoid about that public order. And okay, Sanuki's not good. Bearing in mind I've got to keep that group under control, which means that's not ideal. How's Toza these days? Under control, so let's move some reinforcements up. Awesome. They're moving in, but they've also moved some reinforcements up there, so we should have the advantage here. Counterattack, that's fine. Okay. So, Bengo's one of the more interesting battlefields, actually. You've got this massive hill to deal with. So we know they've got cavalry archers, and we also know they've got regular archers, and they are doing me a massive favour by not making use of the forested hill. So we are going to come straight out and try to draw them into an engagement. Is that 2 units of cavalry archers? This is the problem with cavalry in this game. Most units have spears. The Yari Samurai is by far the most common unit you'll encounter, than the Yari Ashigaru along with the archers. And on top of that, cavalry are not as overpowered as they are in later games, and to make matters worse, they fight absolutely terribly uphill, and they fight absolutely terribly in forest, which are the 2 most common defensive positions. They're also as bad in bridge battles as you'd expect, so there's rarely a cause to mass recruit cavalry, especially early on in the game. Later on, you may find some use in them, particularly as pursuit forces or to hit people in the flanks, because if you do manage to get around your enemy's flank, they can be extremely devastating. But for regular day-to-day battles, they're not great. I think I'm actually being a little thick taking a direct approach like that. Why don't we go and try and get around this a little bit? Now they might rearrange, but I'm hoping because the hill is just slightly lower down, they'll be prepared to take that fight. We'll spread out now that we're actually coming towards the hill. Only disadvantage is that this is knackering my forces. We're already down to quite tired. So they are advancing on us, and that's caused them to lose a lot of altitude. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this archer unit as a decoy while the other one continues to climb. I said while that one continues to climb. Right, now the nightmare scenario here is them choosing to charge, which I think they're doing. So I need to respond to that threat immediately. Okay, no, they are in fact going to stop. There was a genuine risk that they were going to use the opportunity to charge. And of course that would have been devastating to our samurai archers who are not equipped to fight cavalry at all. That is one thing, of course, the cavalry are very good at. They're very good at decimating. Foot archers. But foot archers, of course, win the missile exchange, and you can normally protect them with spears, so that's not an overwhelming threat. Did manage to pull a bit of a range trick on me there. Don't like those aggressive movements at all. Stay away from my archers. And what's the rest of their force doing? Okay, nothing so far. Keep an eye on how many of my archers are actually able to fire. That is not enough. Press forward. Because I want to hit that large unit that's still got plenty of soldiers in it. The only problem with this approach is I am going to use up most, if not all, of my arrows. And they of course have infantry on the hill. I may have to just push forward with my spearmen at some point and try and drive them off. Let's go up the hill and start to put some pressure on them. This is the problem. Yes, I have caused a lot of casualties to them, but I'm now running short on arrows, and I want to keep my remaining arrows in reserve so that I can put some pressure on their infantry. So we advance now just slowly towards the edge of their line. We could catch them, and that will hopefully take some of the pressure off my general's unit, which is coming under increasing strain from the archers, because it is now a 2-on-1 because I withdrew my first unit of archers. So it's easy, because everything's left click in this game, it's very easy to... There we go. Now we can even get behind them. We can possibly get rid of one of these units. Perfect. With a bit of luck, this will push the rest of the force into withdrawing as well. There, the remaining cavalry archers are bucking it. Carefully observing what their spearmen are doing here. Let's just wait a second and see what... No, okay, they are coming out, so I need to begin to react to that. Alright, come on, get formed up. We can take up position on this hilltop here. That should give us an advantage. And pull the spears back. I should probably have done that first. Maybe this isn't such a great position, given how high up they are. Okay, no, I'm letting myself get drawn forward. The damage has already kind of been done on that front. Shoot the Yari Samurai, and for heaven's sake, have you guys not organised yourselves yet? Right, so my bows are low down on the plain. But I think I can get my samurai up onto the high ground. So we're going to catch with a hammer and anvil here. Oops, you guys just make sure you stay out the way. Oh great, okay, that's dangerous. they're going to pull back. We have to keep a reserve here. This unit's going to do most of the fighting against this unit of Yari Samurai. I'll throw my own archers into. Ah! Forgot to turn on skirmish mode. This could get nasty, but it could also scare them into a retreat. Come on lads, you're on skirmish mode, not amble away mode. Oh, this is not good. Come on! How are they winning that? Not the secure victory I wanted that to be, but okay. At least that's some of the most dangerous enemy infantry dead now, apparently. So I didn't get a very good flank attack here, and of course I forgot to put my archers on skirmish mode, which is entirely my fault. If we can kill the enemy general, hopefully those cavalry archers will bugger off. There we go. So let's just advance towards these cavalry archers and try and drive them off the field completely. Let's get a little bit closer. I want my archers to actually be able to fire. Because I think it's probably best if we try and get around their backs. Although the fact that we're wavering doesn't help. The only chance I've got is to break their morale. That's the only way we're actually going to get rid of these guys. This has done a lot of damage to my army, which in turn is going to make it hard to maintain control of the province once I've taken it. There they go. Okay. Well, you know what, that's fine. A campaign that's too easy is boring. Given how well the archer duel went, that was a much uglier fight than it had to be. And they're still under siege. Okay. This is going to be an important one because if we lose Bison, we'll be cut off. We need to win here. Let's form up in the valley and see where we're left. Okay, they're transferring up. Which hill are they going up? More cavalry archers. The AI seems to have become really fond of these. If we now, the danger is if we try and get inside this mountain, they'll charge us first. And That could obviously give us a problem. Are they withdrawing? They're withdrawing, aren't they? There we go. I understand why they're doing that, because we look at the quality of my troops. We've got 4 banners here. But if they can't hold us here, I don't know where the Mori are planning to hold us off. $240 against 286. On defensive, this shouldn't be too difficult. Thing is, though, I have been surprised before, and with only 2 units, I don't have a lot of tactical flexibility. You tend to find that you get the most lopsided results when you've got large armies going against one another, because lots of units means you have lots of options to get the better of the AI. With only 2 units, I really don't have a lot of options. I can shoot and I can charge, and that is the end of my options. I can also flank, but it's a very weak flank attack. But they're all ashigaru, so they're all going to die horribly anyway. But I think we're going to see a repeat of the slaughter in the last episode. The last time Mori tried an ashigaru assault. Come on, let's get on with this. I'm fine with just the front ranks firing while they're far away like this. Oh, except if they're bringing up archers. No, I want to do as much damage to those ashigaru as quickly as possible, and if possible, try to push them into an early advance so they're not supported by their archers. Do have to be a little careful. They've got Yari Samurai in the back. Those are actually dangerous, but all the more reason to destroy these conscripts quickly. Not conscripts, of course. The Yari Ashigaru were mercenaries, I believe. They could be. I think they could be both. Both mercenaries and conscripts. And be honest, firing at Ashigaru, I would have liked to cause more casualties in this more quickly. Okay, they're gone. Change targets. Form up into an assault column against those ashigaru. No, but they're gone as well. And weaken their samurai archers next, I think. Those ashigaru are rallying, but they're not really on the field anymore. You know, fire at the Yari samurai now because they're the main target, and they'll also cause casualties to the samurai archers because they're nearby. 31 archers can't hurt as much anyway. And while they're focused on the archers, I'm going to try and get above and around the flanks of their general's unit. Get rid of those ashigaru again, please, so they're not threatening my flanks. There we go. And since they're presenting them to us, you might as well shoot those guys in the flanks. No. Okay, that was just lots of friendly fire in the end. I think actually, but just let the spearmen do their thing. It's not worth shooting our own foot soldiers with. We're going to take care of these guys in short order. Of course, our general is going to die soon. I feel like I'm not really advancing my cause by shooting these ashigaru anymore. They're basically a military irrelevance. There we go. No, ashigaru are basically just a morale bomb in the middle of an enemy army. And you get them to rout and it makes the samurai run away all the faster. Very useful in expert mode where the AI's morale is much higher. And that's it, we've stopped the counterattack in its tracks. Okay, so one mauling later, and we seem to be in a good place. I'll probably just have to cancel again for the Hojo, but sure. And we've got an average harvest. Wow, what a difference a turn makes. 61. I've not really got enough public order. Do I have troops trained up? Yes, I do. So I can at least solve public order here, because I can move troops in to Aki through the port system and reinforce the province from there. However, I do have to wonder what Bizen and Mimasaka. So Bizen's not too bad. Mimasaka's in trouble. That is a lot of soldiers to take down in a castle assault. Right, what are our options? Things aren't great in neither. Well, Toss is actually okay despite the yellow colour, but I don't really have any soldiers left. Right, one thing's for certain, we're going to finish the siege, because that will free up soldiers elsewhere. I'm not going to move into Zumo yet, we don't have the public order for it. Let's handle our budget, so of course we're going to do our usual samurai and archers. Oops. Sorry, never mind, samurai and samurai, archers and archers. That's how we're doing things. And that's 2,000 spent. I'm going to build a port at Bizen, because the extra 200 is always useful, and because we apparently have a natural harbour here, which decreases the cost. Except they're building. That's fine, they'll start building it next turn. That's 2,750 spent. I don't quite have enough for another port, but it's worth. And I already have good farmlands in Uki. You know what? It's worth upgrading the farmland in Hizen. And do I really have no other fertile provinces? We don't have mines in Aki. We'll go for mines in Aki. I wonder what kind of mining it is here. Silver deposits, that's good. That'll be worth 400, I believe, once it's complete. So we'll save our money after that. That is our yearly budget done. Do I want to assault here? They're mostly horse archers. You see, I'd really like to keep that under siege. We are going to have the watchtowers next turn. I know there's a risk from the rebels, but I really do need to do something here. I'm going to send some troops across to Bizen, and will allow me to send some troops north to Mimasaka to keep it under siege. We really need to take Mimasaka down. I have a bad feeling about this. Okay, that's a very nasty counterattack. Let's deal with the assault first. Like snooking all day, that's not going to put me off. Let's just shoot the horse archers down. We know we can beat them in the field, so we're definitely going to beat them while they're trapped inside a wooden structure. With nothing to do but take arrow fire. As if that wasn't bad enough, I have spearmen waiting to kill them if the archer storm doesn't work. Push forward, so we're not caught in arrow fire for too long. Also bring up my spears. Okay, we should all be able to fire from there. Move this unit up a little closer, and they're going to take aim at the back ranks. Let's make sure that all our troops are indeed firing. There we go. This could be a long... Well, let's take a look at how the casualty ratio is going. Right, up the guard. We're going to send in the spheres, because I don't like the way this casualty ratio is developing. The horse archers are holding their own. Walk for this bit because we don't really need to run. We're not going to get up the hill much faster by running anyway. Interesting, is that skirmish mode still working even though they're in the castle? If they do have skirmish mode on, that will make my job a lot easier. I think they just moved back because of casualties though. There we go. That's going forward. Focus on the back lines. I do have some spears. Outside the settlement as well. This is one thing that sometimes happens. If there's a lot of soldiers defending the castle, they seem to appear as reinforcements instead of inside the fortress to begin with. I'm honestly fine holding the outside of the castle. I think it's the defending army that gets any mechanical bonuses from fighting inside the fort, if such bonuses exist. Let's just get the firing squad out of the way. You're going to make me go in and take you out myself, aren't you? Very well. Let's see how long he survives. That's, I think, 5 people stabbing him at once. Now, they're not called Jedi generals for no reason in this era. The enemy generals can be very hard to take down, especially daimyos. And now I got this. Well, it's a good ratio, even for the they've not got double our number, so I feel quite confident about this. I'd say I wonder how many ashigaru they're going to bring, but I think I might have shot down most of the ashigaru. Right, let's take a look. This hill's going to be perfect. Massive, great big mountain, and it overlooks their entire army. I couldn't ask for a better defensive position than this. Although, actually, I like this hill more. No, because I want my high ground to be uncontested with the enemy. So I want to deploy forwards, otherwise they could run up this hill and then use it to fire arrows at me, basically. Of course, there are hills in front of me here as well. But I can always pull back if they prove to be a problem. Horse archers. Looks like mostly Eri samurai. This is one of the better Mori armies. As I see lots of reserves waiting in the wings. Because they have so many missile troops, my own missiles are going to be important, so I don't want to waste them. I'm going to wait until the enemy are a little closer this time. There are some Yari Ashigaru. Right, we're going to focus on the large unit of Yari Samurai. And just remove the Ashigaru from the field, please. Okay. Oh, okay, right, they're not climbing the hill just yet. Don't disrupt their archers. I'm reluctant to do this so far, but I'm going to spread my archers out now. See, they've run away. That was the goal. Now I'll start focusing in on the enemy's other units. Okay, attack those Yari Samurai before they can crest the hill. Get them here to throw them into confusion. Focus on those force archers. We should win this hand. Got to love fighting on expert mode. Get rid of them. Those ashigaru are now actually causing me a problem because they're, yeah, okay, good, thank goodness they're gone. They were causing a morale crisis in my units because they were threatening their flanks, making my troops nervous. The troops don't care if it's only one. You could get a single Yari Ashigaru around the back of an enemy army and it will inflict the full flank threat penalty. There's no nuance to that or to the size of the force. If there's something behind your forces, your troops start getting worried. We might have to call off the assault at some point because we're not. Yeah, I'm going to call this unit back because they're not going to catch many more people, and I'm expecting this enemy army to rally and come at us for another try. Unless, of course, they decide they've had enough and decide to withdraw at this point. That was closer than it had to be. I should have been paying attention to the threat that Yari Ashigaru unit posed to my morale. They were no military threat, but they were getting to the point where their presence was worrying my soldiers. And morale is so fragile in this game, and it's very immediate. Once you lose your morale, and your army collapses. And you see that a lot where my units are rallying and are wavering and it looks like I'm going to lose, and then the enemy army breaks it. It's like a dam breaking, and suddenly the momentum shifts completely in my favour. It's very much a case of which army suffers that first, and we do have to be careful, we have to conserve our ammo, but eventually this enemy army will exhaust what's left of its momentum, and they are just going to run away. we are going to run out of ammo soon on this unit here. So I need to be very careful with what remains. Try not to use arrows unless we have to. Cavalry archers are, of course, annoying. Just something that works in most Total Wars. I tend to find that you want to not duplicate targets. Have one unit fire on one unit, have another unit fire on another unit. Unless you're trying to inflict morale damage. In other words, unless you're trying to break them quickly. You want to spread out your fire, and that is because you avoid duplicate fire. So you end up killing more enemy soldiers by firing at multiple units. Smaller units are also hard, that have taken casualties are also harder for your archers to hit. So there's another reason not to do it. Okay, we were running out of arrows. I think we are going to have to advance out and break what is left of this Mori army. Which thankfully isn't much. Their morale is going to be very fragile here. But so is ours. And we saw just how fragile our army's morale can be. And now it's even more tired than it was at the start of the battle. So I'm getting some height for my area samurai. I'm going to try and work around the flanks. Overall, we're going to push forward at this point. Target those Yari Ashigaru because they are, of course, fragile in terms of their morale. And once they start to run, it's going to help me push the rest of their army into chaos. There they go. There we are. And just like that, they broke. So we've got every arrow fired off. We attacked them downhill. That was a very efficient battle. And that's one of our first great victories, I'd say, because most of the battles before have really just been skirmishes. This is our first proper battle between decent-sized armies. So yeah, I wouldn't have attacked. Well, the AI shouldn't have attacked with that army. They didn't have nearly enough strength. And of course, I'm not going to fall for the same tricks an AI army would fall for, which could have been used to draw me off the hill. A very one-sided victory. Oh. Okay. So we're not allied with the Yosogi anymore after all. How rude of them. Mimasaka's still not under my control, but if we assault, we should be in a better position. We're not going to have to wait a turn for any more reinforcements. Aki is now fully under my control. That is very good. It's very important. And since we now have Bingo under control, and they've got nothing, I think we completely annihilated the units holding Hoki and Bichu. Right, let's quickly spread out and take those provinces then, and join everything up together. They are training Yari Samurai, so we might have to fight something for the province. But I do have archers, so I'm not too worried. And yeah, since we're attacking, let's finish them off. We'll take Izumo too. We'll take all of this. I am a little worried about public order, but when the enemy are so weak, I'd like to break them completely before they can get into a better position. This should crush the Mori. Okay. I don't think there's anything I need to consider in the long term because I've got all my construction queued up, so that's fine. End the turn. Light wind, that's fine. I don't want to risk something worse. We've got our Daimyo's army. We haven't seen him for a while. No sign of the enemy yet. The thing in big battle maps like this, you don't actually know where the enemy are. Let's see. I don't want to split my forces up just in case I do find something. It is actually probably prudent to do some scouting with my general here. Oops, okay, we spotted them. There's a flicker here. They're in those woods. I don't have many samurai archers here, so I may need to get creative. And they've got majority of samurai archers. Let's see. If we set up here on this hill, I think that will help. So here's the thing, Shogun 1 is not a very difficult game, as long as you don't let the AI get going. If you allow the AI to get some of the more dangerous units out, then they can become a lot more dangerous once they get warrior monks, and mainly warrior monks, to be honest. Because they cause a morale debuff, and combined with the expert mode penalty and the fact you're dealing with larger armies, so it's harder to gain a numerical advantage over the AI strategically. It becomes much more difficult in the later game to defeat them, to win. So that's why it's important to get going on the campaign map early. How you use your early units is critical. And even more than in later Total Wars. Early aggressive play is rewarded. And it's not like the later Total Wars where you have to be much more selective about when you advance and when you expand your empire. Which I think is actually something I tend to play. I enjoy the early Total Wars more, but I do have to acknowledge that is one thing that the later Total Wars got somewhat right. You do have to be much more careful. Oops. They saw that coming, didn't they? Pull back. I don't want to get my general's unit into a battle with spearmen. I'm gonna drive off my heavy cavalry. That was clever of them. Well, I mean, it was also common sense, but still. Now, of course, we watched my heavy spearmen struggle to beat a bunch of light archers. Well, samurai archers are more like heavy archers. They do have melee capability, but still. There was also an element of fatigue to it, because we'd obviously climbed a mountain. Oh, please, please stand still. Don't do anything to interrupt this terrible disaster that is unfolding for my army. I do not like the fact that my daimyo is in battle with spearmen. He only has to die, and that's a crushing morale debuff for my army. And obviously a great blow for the faction in general. They're relentless. Go away! My god! It doesn't help my cavalry aren't doing a great job of keeping away from them. Will someone please shoot the 8 maniacs who are still ruthlessly chasing after the heavily armoured cavalry? I don't know why my troops wouldn't shoot there. Now we're doing exactly what I wanted to avoid, which is fighting archers in the woods. The reason they're fighting so hard is because they have nowhere to run. It's the old Sun Tzu quote of always give an army an option to escape. They fight to the death when there's no other option. Or almost to the death. Their morale's massively buffed to the point where even fairly weak units fight very, very hard. But I did not expect a group of archers to fight that well against my high valor, high honor rather, Yari samurai. We lost most of our force there. That's going to make holding the region difficult. And yeah, they managed to get the samurai up. Well, to find out, we should just be able to shoot them down from this side of the river. What basically happens in this situation is you catch the AI in a catch-22. They can either come forward and defend the crossing, and then they will just hit them with the archers, or they can let you across, and then of course you will eventually flank and overcome them with both units. They probably should let you across though, or defend the hill. That's what I would try to do, rather than try to defend the crossing in this situation. Oh, and they're smart. It looks like they're smart enough to do that. Yep. Once again, they've got nowhere to retreat to, so they do have the castle. They might decide to retreat into the castle. If they do that, they're idiots, because of course they'll just shoot them down in the castle. Yep. Sorry folks, but that wooden box is not going to give you any protection. And we're assault. Did I go for the assault here? I don't remember wanting to go for the assault here. No, call that off. About to fall anyway. Right. Aki's in trouble. 92. Izumo, 99. That's not bad. That'll take care of itself. Bichu's actually in a bit of trouble. So we should have soldiers here. I can send reinforcements to some of my provinces. Unfortunately, none of them are the ones I actually need to. Land in Aki, I guess, closer to the action. No recruitment will take care of itself there. Why don't we? I've already built towers in Hezen. Why don't we build what? And we've already got fully upgraded watchtowers in Hockey. Okay, Bengo is a good candidate for border watchtowers because it watches so many different provinces that will raise loyalty in all the surrounding ones. And actually, we've got plenty of public order in Bengo, so I'll move soldiers in here. That'll take care of Aki's problem. Izumo wasn't that bad to begin with. I think we're on to a winner here. Oh, they're about to fall, so we'll just let it fall. And can I expand even further? I've been burned trying to take Harima Fort. We'll finish off the box fort. I'm a little worried about my number of arrows though. There's not much to say about this turn. I think we will... Very tempted to go after Anaba, but I don't really think we have the resources to do it yet. Well, you know, we don't need this number of soldiers from Mimasaka anymore. Okay, take our general and take our general and a detachment of archers. And I'm also going to take... And yeah, we're going to attack Harima. And then my main force is going to advance in from Hoki. We're going to try to finish the Mori general now. Mori daimyo now. Oh really? This is several months ago. You see, that's just rude, that's what that is. Takamatsu Castle. It is a large castle, which means they have more places to hide from my archers. Okay, firing squad time. Let's try that unit instead. I guess that not all of our units can fire. I'm honest, I did rather less than I was hoping for. I might need to withdraw here. Right. I see absolutely no reason to get my troops massacred assaulting a position like this. Come back next season. We're not going to lose the province by abandoning this. It doesn't break the siege like in later Total Wars. So I've just shot a bunch of arrows into them, and then we'll come back and shoot them again next season. Also note that one of my archers apparently managed to shoot their ally, even though they're in the same formation. Oh, two of them managed that. So yeah, unique thing about siege battles, you can actually hit yourself. We might lose that rank 3. He's pulled out of Nava, so we win in Harima. I think that's it. Wait, hold on. I think they just killed themselves. there we go. The Hojo are the strongest clan because they've got all of that money to work with. Castle's fallen to me. They're still besieging beach, but no rebels.
春秋の花ももみじもとどまらず。
So in the end, we never had to fight Lord Mori. He dies trying to escape from Inaba province. Rebels are going to be everywhere, but because the daimyo is dead, we should see public order improve rapidly. I think that's where we'll call it today. We've driven the Takeda out of their lands. We've destroyed the Mori clan. Our position in northern Japan is now secure, but next week we are going to have to race north in order. Sorry, the south of Japan rather. It's hard to remember that from this map. The north of Japan is where we're going to have to race to try and take care of the Hojo before they take over everything and just drown us under their waves of their soldiers paid for by the rich agricultural production of northern Japan. Farewell for now.